Hello, welcome pen friends. I wanted to share with you something that I am working on tonight. All of a sudden I came face to face with the fact that I didn't have any of these cards left to index my inks with, and it was really kind of bugging me because I don't have pen allowance right now and I don't have channel money just yet. It's coming, but it's not here right now, and I just needed to get some inks indexed. So I decided that something in this house was going to get cut up and, made into these cards. And then I realized, well, I use the watercolor paper for everything else. I love how it looks on the watercolor paper. The inks always look nice. It holds up really well. So why not? So I started to cut up some watercolor paper, and I'll show you in a minute what I did. And I ended up with a whole stack of these. So now I'm all set. I no longer have to worry because I don't want to do any kind of deading or anything to spend $10 to get a Kohler ring right now. But I wanted to keep everything standardized. So, and I didn't want to go on to some other different thing. I actually have another one. I have one of these that I got at Walmart, but I didn't like how the ink looked on the paper. So I'll be doing something with this one, but it just doesn't work for me because it distorts the ink just enough. And really, I've never had that happen on the watercolor paper. So I cut a bunch of them up. So if you want to try this at home, all you have to have is a couple things: scissors, a ruler. A grid ruler works really well because then you can keep everything super straight easily. A hole punch so that you can make your little holes once you get to that stage. And if you're like me, you like everything to kind of be rounded. So my corner rounder I use for everything else. I'm using it on a 4mm corner rounder. These are the regular ones. These are some I purchased. And then these are some that I made, and you can't tell. I mean, well, you can kind of see where I pencil outlined and cut out, but I mean, they're just as good, that's for sure. They may be even better. So I thought, well, now I'm wasting watercolor paper. And then I put a calculator to it to see how much I was spending. In other words, I thought, well, gee, maybe I'm like being ridiculous here. So that's when the real magic happened, because I realized that my watercolor pads are $5 for a 30 sheet pad. And let's see, let me pull it over here so you can, I think I've shown these before, but this is what they are, the Canson Watercolor. And they may have gone up a little. It's been a while since I had to buy one, but it's right in that $5. It was exactly $5 the last time I purchased it at Walmart. And I did the math. I did it 2 or 3 times because I was like worried that I was maybe making a mistake and being hasty. But so 30 sheets times, and I get 12 of these. You end up with 12 on one sheet with very little loss. Okay, so it's 30 sheets times 12. So you're getting, you could potentially get 360 of the little indexes. And this is the pile that I made today. I made, I think, 24 so far, and I've got some more to cut out, if I want to. So you get quite a few for $5. So then I said, okay, Chris, you're not wasting your money, and you're not having to order something and pay shipping. So there is no need to feel guilty. The competitor, the closest competitive item is $10 for 100, and I have to pay shipping. I don't know how to get around that, especially not if that's all I'm ordering. And I no doubt I'll order more of these someday just for the convenience. But I wanted to show you that when you take that sheet, you end up with 12 with just a tiny strip of waste. So that's no problem at all. You cut that in half and make 2 bookmarks or whatever. It's not like you're wasting a whole bunch. So, and really, what I did was I put on something, a documentary I've been listening to and watching, and I got busy cutting them out, and these are the only 2 I've painted onto so far, but I already knew that I'd be just as happy with the ink on, you could tell I'm working on a shimmer project, with the ink on the watercolor paper because it's just always great. So anyway, this is not rocket science. I mean, you guys have probably already thought of this, and you probably already have other things. Like, I know some people use index cards or different things, but I wanted to keep it standard, and I only had like 2 or 3 of the originals left, which that's the other thing. These are a lot thinner, the actual real McCoy. These are really thick. So this is the original and this is the watercolor. It's not quite twice as thick, but almost. It's just ridiculous. But now, you know, it's time consuming and it does require a few tools, basic tools. But then when I get done, because I don't know, some of you probably know, I do these all by color so that I have my upcoming colors I'm going to review. And also my individual boxes. Each box has a color family. Like this box has gray and black, and then I have a ring for each one. And you know, I still have some of the older ones I used to use that I haven't transferred yet onto the actual standardized. There's not enough time in the day. But the new ones that come through are the ones I'm working on now. I've got them all standardized onto the to this size. So I get these at the Dollar Tree for $1. So that's something I'm used to purchasing and having on hand because I need more than one ring. I have a ring for my full bottles, and then I have a ring for every color family. And now I'm using the rings for the ones that I'm going to, that are upcoming for review so that I don't have them all scrambled together. So my situation is unique, but anyway, I just wanted to show you that, I mean, that's all there is to it. Basically, I just come in and I cut this strip off, which is, like I said, the only waste at all is this strip, and it's hardly anything. Oh, I was going to give you the measurement. The measurement is really simple. It's 2 inches by, I think it's 4. Let's see. Yeah, 2 by 4. So you're just looking at 2 by 4. Go right down the middle. And we'll just do one so I can show you. I mean, it's just super simple. It's ridiculous. But I'm happy because I'm tired of feeling like I'm a slave to the budget and I just, you know, have to spend money. Well, no, there's always a way around it. And I've got some awfully creative friends that are doing videos on this kind of thing too. But, you know, I just think it's neat that I still get to have the exact size and quality that I want. And all I have to do is just use some of the stuff that's around here. Now this was a little bit challenging. At times the corner doesn't want to round, but if I do it fast enough and I do it good, then it'll cut it. And I have another one in my card making kit that may work better. And then all I was doing was taking an old backing. Just take my pencil and just mark it because I just want it all standardized. But while you're doing something else or listening to a podcast or something, and there you go. So it turned out to be that it just made me feel so good because I thought, for one thing, it was the only thing I was going to have to order. So even if I did have the money and the designated portion of my spending budget that I needed in, it just seemed so silly to order and have to pay anywhere from $4 to $8 for the shipping for one item, and that's all I needed. But yet, if I let things pile up, if I don't have cards and I let them pile up, then I get quickly overrun around here because I get, the new ink flights and generous contributions to the channel from viewers, and so I have to be prepared, and I want to keep things standardized. So I hope by sharing this that if you have something like this you want to do, at least it can get us bridged between when we might want to order some more. And I certainly will order more someday probably, unless this turns out to be much, much better, in which case I certainly have plenty of time to cut and round corners and punch holes, because at times that's very meditative and soothing even, so, and very, very little waste. So I just wanted to show you because I think what pushed me over the edge really to realizing that it wasn't ridiculous was when I looked at the math and I thought, oh my goodness, as long as the quality is just as good and I can see the ink color well and it'll hold up to my use, then I'm getting, or potentially could get 360 for just over $5. I guess you have to include taxes, but I walk in a store, I don't have to pay any kind of shipping, so it's pretty close, you know. And then, but if I want to buy the actual product, then I've got to pay $10 for 100 of those. And so that just did it for me. I realized, hey, I can definitely get through this month and maybe next month. So I wanted to share it with you because that's what I've done since I started this channel, and that's the kind of thing that I enjoy. Is if I get an idea, it might inspire you in some other way. It might not be this that you need. It might be something else. But we can get creative, or we can get resourceful with what we already have. So that's all. That's all I just wanted to share with you. I'm pretty excited because I kept thinking, oh dear, I just don't want to have to place this order right now. I don't have the money, you know, not in the right pocket. You know, that doesn't, I'm not trying to plead poverty. I'm saying it's not in the right pocket right now, where there's lots of places I'm directing my resources toward, and the channel resources too. But I will see you later, and hopefully this has been useful to you. This is one that I'd hoped I had enough to review. Looks like I've got just barely 2 mils, but I'm putting together all of the shimmer inks that I haven't reviewed so that I can talk to you about that after we finish the Jacques Arbon series. And then this one I have plenty of, Diamine Blue Pearl, along with several others, which I can't wait to bring you a little bit of a glimpse into what I've been, you know, kind of squirreling up for shimmer inks that we can review. And I will see you on the next video, which should be probably an ink video. I'll be working on this one right here. So, bye for now, and let me know if you got any ideas like this, because I think I was actually inspired by my pen friend Marilyn, who was making little holder for the ink samples out of coin rolls. And I think that just made me sit there and think twice about just waiting on getting these cards. I thought, well, surely there's got to be something in this house that I can make some cards out of without having to use the ones that I didn't like. I just didn't like, I felt like the color of the ink really just didn't come through on these good enough. It just didn't look accurate enough. So that's it, and I will go for now, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.